talking at 12 o'clock. So I didn't want to fight the Fed. As they say, don't fight the Fed in the stock market. So I'm not going to fight the Fed today. You know, if it was Biden speaking, okay, he doesn't have as many people watching, in my opinion. Right, let me just get the live stream up here, tweet it out. We've got some amazing stuff that we're going to talk about. Digital stocks on crypto exchanges. So you are not going to want to miss that. Also, the crazy prints that we did see. Where are we? Well, above some, below some. But the really influential ones we will talk about, and we will share. If you guys want to learn more about dark pools, come on over and join me at thedarkpools.com. I am wearing my Carpe Profit Act of Locking Profit sweatshirt today. It's kind of a sweatshirt sort of day. Well, inside the air conditioning, not outside. It is hot and steamy up here, but thankfully no flooding like in China, in London, in Pennsylvania, New York. There has been crazy flooding around out there lately. All right. So let me just share this away. Got some people on board. 2 secs. I just have to copy and paste the title and then the link. All right. And there. I know there has to be a more efficient way to do this, but right now this is the best way I can do it now, and I'm going to do one that will maybe get people on board. And we'll also talk about AMC today too. So let's look at all those. All right, let's get that live stream up and running so I can see the chat, and let's pull it on over to the stocks. All right, so I did have the fun, really fun thing. Oh, thanks, Oscar. Fun thing of shooting a pilot for a network today. That was a lot of fun. I'm not going to disclose any more information about that, but a really cool streaming network, potentially an existing network going to a streaming type service to share point of view of traders for traders. So that was a lot of fun. So we will see what happens and materializes out of that, but I'm not going to disclose anything more than that because it's all in the works, and like with anything or everything, until it happens, best not to really, say too much about it. Plus, it's not my future business that is being developed. So it is another company. All right, so let's look at the S&P 500. You guys know I do offer up a watch list right here. I did have this over here earlier. Hold on. I wanted to put it here so that we can see I've started to add on daily limit halts right here. So we have limit halt down. Some people are saying, Jane, what is the limit halt down? If you have the volatility limit on a low float stock, that's usually more than 10% move of the price of the stock within 2 minutes, and they halt it for 5 minutes. Well, the limit down halts for the indexes are going to be when we have a 7%, a 13%, or a 20% move that happens before 3:25 in the afternoon. That would generate a halt of the market, or in particular of that index as well. So keep that in mind. The market's feeling really heavy. Feels like things might be on fire, as we saw down in South Africa with the malls that were on fire. We also had Cuba with people revolting. A lot of craziness is happening right now, and we could see that in the market. We could see the fire happen in the market, fire sale on the stocks, and prices will be dropping to the downside. Oh, thank you, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar's reminding you guys, if you guys like the live stream, please just hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds, it's free, and it helps the YouTube algorithm to share it with me. Yeah, I wanted to give you a shout out, David. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Happy to hear that my opinion on a stock helped you to profit. That's why I do enjoy sharing. And with my watch list too, that's why I create the watch list and the different price levels, which you guys can get. Oh, I put it here. here yesterday, cjanetrade.com, and I do update that every day, so you get 10 stocks and the 3 indexes. If you use welcome 10, then you will save 10%. Or you do welcome, not welcome 10, excuse me. And let's make it bigger so you guys can see it right there. And let's move this over here. How about that? There we go. Then you guys can save it. And come on over, try it out. It pretty much hits, you're pretty much going to profit off of these stocks every day. All right, let's go back over here. So, oh, wow, look at that drop that just happened. So, we have the halt levels. I'm posting those out on my Twitter. It's Airplane Jane every day now, so that it feels like this is really coming. That's it. Those are for day trades. So it's a daily list for day trades. Swing trades, I don't offer any right now because I'm usually with the kiddos in the afternoon. Yeah. So I'm usually doing primarily swing trades. A lot of these, some of them have to do with dark pools, but not all of them. It has to do with the high volume for that day. And oh my goodness, hold on. I realized I went off of a chart on the crypto room. I just did a crypto presentation. You guys want to see something really cool? All right, so I've talked about this before. We have ISO 2022. If you don't understand, I did a YouTube about it before. This is going to be the new banking regulations. Let's go here really quickly. ISO 2022 timeline. It's messing me up because I can't see the full screen there. It's all good. All right, maybe I could even pull that up a little bit. There you go. Now you guys can just see that. Okay, ISO 2022 timeline images. Oh, it helps when you spell it correctly, but it still did it for me. So right here we have, hey, this is the timeline. Pretty much everybody's going to be going live with this new ISO 2022 timeline. Oh, this is a cool one. Let's see what this is. I haven't seen this one before. Fully fledged. So interesting. This is for when the European Union. So the banks are pretty much going to end up, in my opinion, going bye-bye. Yeah, he's speaking in 18 minutes, Austin, which is why I wanted to come on early so that then I'm not competing with him. Maybe we can see what he says, but it's more like the post speech. And in fact, you can see here's his testimony that they released this morning right on the Fed. Federal Reserve News Events Testimony Powell, and that was this morning. So that's what he's probably going to be talking about. They usually release it ahead of time, and that might be the exact speech that he's going to say. So SPY is dropping, Qs are dropping, some IWM heavily affected by the banks, 20% banks. When we drop below over here, 217, that is going to be a big, awesome, Oscar. Yeah, down below in the description area, you will see a banking evolution workshop. Highly recommend checking it out to position yourself properly for moving forward. Banks, in my opinion, are the biggest Ponzi scheme out there. You put your money in, and guess what? They play with it. They lend it out. They make interest off of it. If you put your money in, maybe they pay you the tiniest little bit. But when you want to go take it out, if you have more than 10,000, you have to order it, and it takes 3 to 4 days because they only typically tend to have 30 to 40,000 in each branch at one time with reserve requirements of 0. Where is your money? Is it in your pocket? It's in their hands. All right. So banks reporting today. We had, let's go over here to the bank list. Let's look at the bank list really quickly. I do have a bank watch list set up over here. So Berkshire Hathaway is moving down. All right. If you guys are new to following me as well, dark pools, right? I follow the dark pools. If you want to learn more, come to thedarkpools.com. These are dark pool levels right here. We did have another one down here. I want to say it was 35.51, I think is where it was. I have to look back in history and see for the 8th of July. But we did have another one over here, and I got to put it on. Most of these prints, we are below, right? Most of the dark pool prints we are below. We also had another crazy one, IAT, regional banks. I talked about this on Monday. Where are we? 56.26. What was the low of this candle? 56.41. That was 62% of the stock float traded in one trade. Price is below it. I'll give you this short version of dark pools. If we go below the prints, that means they were selling because they're unless we see another big print and it moves up higher. If we are above the prints, that means they were buying, right? So we are below the prints on IAT, regional banks. I need to create an IAT. Let's do it together. Let's do this really quickly, guys. Let's go here, ETF, database.com. Let's create a new watch list. Also, if there's anyone that ever needs help, I'm pretty much rock on TradingView as well. So, all right, let's go here, IAT. If you ever want to know what is in an ETF, you can go to ETF database, ETF.com, ETFchannel.com, and check it out. So, banks right here. Yeah, it's not looking so pretty. All right, so here, let's put this over here so I can see it. And really quickly, cap locks, PNC, USB, TFC, FRC, SIVB. Whoa. All right. Oh, I see what's going on. You guys heard me typing and didn't see any letters, and I didn't either. FITB, HBAN, key, CFG, RF, MTB, SBNY, EWBC. You know what? That's it. There are options on cryptos. I have not traded them. I'm more holding them long term as a store of value, which the banks don't like. They do not like it when you do that. Why? Because it takes the money out of their deposits. Okay, so let's look at all of these today. They are definitely heading to the downside and not looking too pretty, right? Let's look at this on a weekly chart over here on the right. Is that looking good? It looks like a head and shoulders, right? We have a head and shoulders here. We also have a head and shoulders on Bank of America, and we are below this big volume. So it's not looking too good for the banks, right? The big thing would be breaking down below 55 over here. That would be confirmation. I have an alert right there. If we break down below 55, I think we're going to see a very, very big move down in the market, which is why I do have this setting up now, because I want to be aware. So 206.74, you might want to set an alert or know that if we start to get close to that, especially with the Russell, we're not there just yet, but we're at 219, we're down just 1%. We saw it back in March of 2020. So seeing these halts is not unusual. The more that it drops, the less it has to move to reach that 7% as well. Obviously, when we're further inflated, it does have to have a bigger move to drop to the downside. All right, so IAT as well is super red, and XLF as well. When we look, we had Bank of America reporting today, right? Ginormous head and shoulders, right? Wonky head and shoulders on the side right here. We're just pretty much, it looks like testing that support level of 37.90 over here. I have 34 down here. Maybe we are going to head down to 34 on Bank of America. What do you guys think? You think we're heading down to 34 on Bank of America? And don't forget to hit that like button, right? Hit the like button. It will allow YouTube to share it with more people. Hello, Andy. How are you? Yeah, I'm trying to run through everything really quickly. We also had Wells Fargo. It started off green on the day, and then we imploded on the day. As we've seen with banks, we are below a trend line over here. So it opened up really nicely. We gapped up on the day, and it was a gap and crap scenario for Wells Fargo. So keep all of that in mind. These banks are not performing. BlackRock as well. Wow, look at that. BlackRock down almost 4%, 3.5% today. We had a $4 move on JP Morgan yesterday, continuation move down 2.65 today as well, or another 1.7%. XLF overall is down 1.5%. Berkshire Hathaway B shares starting to show weakness as well, rejecting that 20 simple moving average over here. And are we going to break down below this gray moving average, 274.60? If we, let's set an alert right there. Alert, crossing down. And that is at 274.60. We'll put it. All right. So if we start to cross down below over there, that's really going to pull down. And remember, Warren Buffett stepped down from the Gates Foundation. He is the head of Berkshire Hathaway. So if we're starting to see him trim his positions, that could definitely affect the market. Banks have always been a safe haven as long as people have been putting money into them. They have performed really well. In fact, we look at JP Morgan's earnings. Earnings yesterday, extra 18%, more than expected. What's going on with the stock? Well, it's dropping, right? How about Bank of America? Just because a company has positive earnings does not mean that it's going to skyrocket. Look, extra 33%. Yeah, we're down 5% on the day. We had Morgan Stanley yesterday, I believe, right? Yeah, or that's coming up tomorrow. Excuse me, that's coming up tomorrow. So that's going to be tomorrow. We had Goldman Sachs. Was that yesterday? Oh, yeah, my pleasure. So yeah, Goldman Sachs was positive yesterday, up 46%. And yet we are down again. We have 2 red days. Maybe. Potentially that's it. That could happen. Sometimes they will bring it down to a support level. However, the banks are going to be 21% of the indexes. Of IWM. 21% of IWM. We've got Dow Jones that's 15% and SPY that is 13%. So when we see XLF drawing down, it will affect these 3. It will not affect the Qs or the technology stocks because there are 0% financials in the technology stocks. So that is moving to the upside. We had the same movement yesterday on the Qs. However, we ended flat on the day. When we look at the big names, right? Yesterday, we had big movement on Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook. Twitter has a bounce today. Tesla is just sort of trading sideways, down $2 at the moment. And so the big names are going to be what drive the Qs. Right now, Google is going to be that leader for the Qs. Remember, Google just got fined $593 million by France or Germany. Let's see. I think it was Germany, actually. Let's look really quickly. Bank of England. Google, France, 500 million. There you go. And France fines it $593 million. So maybe they're propping it up to sell some shares to cover this fine. I don't know. Just a speculation right there. Consumers are not dropping. Yeah, if we look at PG as well, so we look at PG, XLP, you know what, everybody, you have to remember this, right? Powell is coming on in 6 minutes. Powell will be talking about inflation. Oh, there's no inflation, right? When you actually look at the numbers, everything has increased on average 5.4%. And when you're looking at, I posted it on Twitter as well, so I'm going to go back here. Was it just yesterday? No, not right there. But there's a breakdown of how much everything, here we go, car rentals up. Thank you, Heather, for doing the work. So a shout out to Heather Long. I did not do this work, she did. 8.87% year-to-year change on car rentals. Used cars up 45%. Yet they say inflation is not here. The price of consumer goods is going up. Would you anticipate that the stocks would rise at the same time? Yes. They're saying, oh, consumer spending is up. This is great. Why? Because inflation is present. The cost of goods is up, so people are spending more. So they're relating that to it's a good thing. It's actually that people are spending more because it costs more, because of the Suez Canal, because of oil going up. The cost of sugar is going up, for example, for Coca-Cola. The underlying ingredients for coffee, for Starbucks, is going up with inflation. Now remember, what happens when they start to taper? We are so high overextended and had such a dramatic increase to the upside that it's going to be a bit of a fire sale when it happens. People's stops are going to get triggered. We are almost red on the Qs over here, down 27 cents away from being red on all of the indexes. Maybe it's intentional. In fact, it is 100% intentional for the price manipulation for these big guys to move it where they want to. All right, so let's look at my list. I'm going to blow through it super quickly. If you guys want to check it out, go to cjandtrade.com. Welcome to save 10%. So Apple had a little small trade up above today. Let's put it on a 15-minute chart, make it a little easier to see. So we had a nice little trade right here from 148.80 up to 149.40, 60 cents there. SOGO flat on the day now. It had a lot of volume this morning pre-market, but no movement today. American Airlines had a lot of volume this morning, had a nice short squeeze to the upside after yesterday's sell-off. Delta Airlines down on the day. Delta did have earnings today, positive earnings, and yet it is dropping. Is this going to be the trend for this earnings season? We see positive numbers, but it drops off into the positivity. People are selling. Wells Fargo as well. We already reviewed that, but that is dropping down. Oh, look at that massive, crazy run up in just a couple minutes. Very interesting. Talk about a short squeeze, right? That's just happened while we were talking. AMC as well, moving to the downside. That's what David traded. He said, Jane, I was listening to your live stream yesterday. I bought some puts, and thank you. They have paid me well. So thank you for those coffees. I appreciate that. Bank of America, we already spoke about. And MDIA, Media Co. Holding, lower float, and it has dropped to the downside. Had a run to the upside, could have made 20% to the upside and a little bit to the downside today. So Virgin Galactic is pulling back down from the trend lines. You can see right there, we broke the trend. You have my short target right there. Should it continue to the downside, we're testing that 34 level at the moment and rebounding a bit right here. So watching to see, we had bigger volume right here. It would need to close up above 35.20 for me to be interested on a shorter term swing trade to the upside. But overall, the trend is to the downside right now. NEO as well, continuing to the downside. And we have 2 minutes left. Let's look at KMB. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat. Otherwise, we can all go and watch Powell, see what he's going to do. Yeah, their solid earnings were priced in. Usually that's what happens, Austin. And their big guys always know ahead of time somehow. And we have seen crazy, insane prints going across the board. So now that we have all of the indexes red, we have Powell due to talk in just about 60 seconds. Be prepared. There could be wild volatility. It could be like an FOMC meeting. My thoughts are bearish on the market. That is why I have those limit downs posted every day on my Twitter at It's Airplane Jane. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I thank you for watching. If you all ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at jane@cjandtrade.com. Check out my website, cjandtrade.com. Check out the watch list. Use welcome as a 10% off. These are my social media handles. Should you hear anything from anyone else, it is not me. I'm not on Facebook professionally anymore. So keep that in mind. Just shoot me a screenshot of the scammer and I will report it and send it out to people to forewarn them. Have an amazing day. And as always, carpe profit. Seize those profits one trade at a time. See you all tomorrow. Have a great one. Bye.